You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page as well. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we review match number 15 of IPL 2021 between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Chennai Super Kings. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the match summary from game number 15 of IPL 2021 from Mumbai between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Chennai Super Kings. The Chennai Super Kings batted first and made 3 for 220 from their 20 overs. Faf du Plessis top scored with 95 not out of 60 balls. Chakravarti, Russell and Narine took 1 wicket each for the Knight Riders. The Kolkata Knight Riders finished on 202 all out from 19.1 overs. Pat Cummins top scored with 66 not out of 34 balls, and Chahar took 4 wickets for the Chennai Super Kings. The Chennai Super Kings won by 18 runs, and Faf du Plessis was named man of the match. What were some of the key moments and key factors from this match between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Chennai Super Kings? I thought the key moments in this game were the Chennai Super Kings bowling up front. They had the Kolkata Knight Riders 5 down for 31 inside 5.2 overs, which put the Kolkata Knight Riders on the back foot. But the other key moment was the Kartik and Russell partnership of 81 for the 6th wicket. Pretty much that partnership was getting the Kolkata Knight Riders back on track in this run chase. CSK broke that partnership, and despite Pat Cummins' innings of 66 not out, which nearly got the Kolkata Knight Riders home, the Chennai Super Kings were able to pick up wickets in the death overs and win this game by 18 runs. Let's have a look at both teams' performances in this match. We'll start with the Kolkata Knight Riders and their batsmen. Rana 9, Gill 0, Tripathi 8, Morgan 7, Narine 4, Kartik 40, Russell 54, and Cummins 66 not out. Let's have a look at their bowlers. A wicket each for Narine, Russell and Chakravarti. No wickets for Cummins, Nagarkoti and Krishna. That's how the Kolkata Knight Riders performed as a team in this match. Another disappointing result for the Kolkata Knight Riders. They could have won this game with the bat. Unfortunately, and let's talk about their batting first of all, their batting again was poor. Another batting collapse. The top order failed again. This time they were 5 down for 31 inside 5.2 overs. The Knight Riders can't keep having these batting collapses because that's just putting the team on the back foot straight away. And especially when you're chasing a score of 200 plus, you're 5 down for 31, not even after the power play, you're in trouble. They can't keep having these collapses. Something has to change in terms of their mindset, in terms of how they bat, in terms of how they go about things, and they just need to change something because they can't keep having these batting collapses. Obviously, that could mean a different batsman could come in. They've got some batsmen on the sidelines who can come in to replace some of the top order. Rana, Gill and Tripathi have been out of form. Rana, he's been scoring runs. Gill, he's been poor of late. Tripathi, the same. You're not going to drop Earl Morgan because obviously he's the captain. Narine came in. This is his first game. We know what his role is in this team. He's sort of the pinch hitter. But you need some other people to come in there and get the job done. Because at the moment, Rana, Gill, Tripathi, even Earl Morgan too, are not getting the job done in the top order. And you need your top order to fire in a T20 match because pretty much the top order gets you the job done, basically. If someone in the top order scores a big score, you're on track to set a big total or chase down the runs in the game. So they just can't having these batting collapses. They just got to stop. But at the moment, they just keep happening. It's a bit of a broken record for the Kolkata Knight Riders. It just keeps happening and happening. They just need to find a way to stop that. But what I liked about some of their batsmen, I thought Kartik, Russell and Cummins played well. Their innings got the Kolkata Knight Riders back in this match because at one stage it didn't look good for the Knight Riders. 5 down for 31. Not a great position to be in. Probably going to get bowled out for a low score. But hang on. Kartik and Russell came in and added 81 for the 6th wicket, plus Pat Cummins's innings of 66 not out, nearly got the Kolkata Knight Riders home. They didn't give up. And that's what I like about those 3 players there. Even though others were falling around them in terms of the batting, those 3 took the responsibility upon themselves to say, no, we're not going to have another batting collapse again. This has got to stop. Let's take the responsibility, play sensible cricket. Let's try and get the runs. You never know, we may get close. And in the end, they did. But once Kartik and Russell went, pretty much it was down to Pat Cummins, who pretty much nearly got them over the line. So once Kartik and Russell, as I said before, departed, it was up to Pat Cummins to get the runs. And he played an absolute blinder of an innings, Pat Cummins. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing from Pat Cummins. I just fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe some of the shots he played. If Pat Cummins can score 66 not out on this pitch in Mumbai, it must be a very good batting surface. And Pat Cummins is a bowler. But wow, what an innings from him. And he nearly got the side home. And Pat Cummins should have got them the win. But in the end, he was batting with the tail, Pat Cummins. He had to get the runs because Kartik and Russell departed. So it was up to him to get the runs. Unfortunately, the other batsmen got out. And pretty much the Knight Riders were done and got bowled out for 202 and fell 18 runs short of winning this match. But the one positive I can say about their batting was Kartik, Russell and Cummins. They didn't give up. They found a way to get the Knight Riders close to winning this game. But obviously, so those 3, without those innings from Kartik, Russell and Cummins, they could have been bowled out for less than 202, the Knight Riders. But with their innings, Kartik and Russell's partnership and Pat Cummins' 66 not out, they nearly got the side home. But without those, it would have been a lot less they would have been bowled out for than 202. But that was the one positive for me with the Knight Riders, that those batsmen didn't give up. But the rest of the batsmen have struggled in this IPL thus far. So overall, their batting was poor, but some positives there with Kartik, Russell and Cummins. But the top order, another batting collapse, things are got to start turning around now for the Knight Riders. They've got to start turning things around now with their batting. They can't have these batting collapses. They've got to stop. So that's the goal for them in the next game. How do we stop these batting collapses? Someone's got to take responsibility and score a big score in the first, in the top order, I should say. Someone's got to take that responsibility and stop the rot. You've got to back up partnerships. Unfortunately, the Knight Riders have not done that. So they just need to find a way to stop these batting collapses. So overall, their batting was poor, but they did a good job in trying to get close to win this game. Let's touch on their bowling a little bit. Their bowling was poor, very tough on this good batting surface in Mumbai. Same with the Chennai Super Kings. Their bowling was being dispatched for runs as well. So both sides struggled with the bowling. Didn't quite execute their lines and lengths, I should say. They were a bit inconsistent as well. Didn't quite execute their plans. They leaked runs in the death overs, which proved to be the difference when chasing down this score. If they had a good death over period, they would have chased a lot less than 220. Unfortunately, they leaked runs, and obviously it was 220 in the end, and that was too much. So they need to improve that going forward with their bowling. But overall, disappointing result from the Knight Riders. Got a lot of work to do, I should say, to bounce back and try and get their season back and running. Let's have a look at the Chennai Super Kings team performance from this match. We'll start with their batsmen, Gaikwad 64, Duplessis 95, Ali 25, Dhoni 17, and Jadeja 6 not out. Let's have a look at their bowlers. 4 wickets for Chahar, 3 for Ningidi, a wicket for Sam Curran, no wickets for Jadeja and Thakur. That's how the Chennai Super Kings performed as a team in this match. Good win from the Chennai Super Kings. Very impressive with the way they went about things in this game with both bat and the ball. Let's talk about their batting first of all. I thought they batted well to get to 220, which was a match-winning score in the end on this good Mumbai surface. Faf du Plessis played well for his 95. Gaikwad played well for his 64. Pretty much their first wicket partnership of 115 set up the Chennai Super Kings nicely to get this 220 score. So great signs with the Chennai Super Kings in terms of their batting going forward. Some players are getting some runs, which is good. Obviously, the more runs they get, obviously getting in form, and the batting is starting to gel for the Chennai Super Kings. So for them, overall, their batting was good. Their bowling, let's talk about that quickly. I thought their bowling was okay, and it was good at the end. Obviously, like the Kolkata Knight Riders bowlers, pretty much this was a batter-friendly pitch. So everyone was going for runs. And if you got it slightly wrong, if you got your line of length slightly wrong, you were going to get dispatched. And some of the bowlers did. But what I liked about the Chennai Super Kings is that they had the Kolkata Knight Riders 5 down for 32 inside 5.2 overs, which pretty much put the Knight Riders on the back foot. But the partnership between Kartik and Russell got them back on track, and it obviously got 81 for the 6th wicket there. But I thought that was very important for them to break that partnership. And the Super Kings broke that partnership. But they had Pat Cummins in there, who got 66 not out in the end and nearly got the Knight Riders over the line. But where I thought the Chennai Super Kings did really well with their bowling was their death bowling. Once we got to the back end of the Kolkata Knight Riders innings, their bowlers bowled well at the death. They took wickets when they needed to take the wickets. That put the Knight Riders under pressure, and Pat Cummins, because he had to take responsibility with the tail-enders to score the majority of the runs. Unfortunately, the Knight Riders couldn't do that because the death bowling from the Chennai Super Kings bowlers was very good. Bowled well, execute their plans. They had clear plans, the bowlers. They executed them, and the wickets fell. So great signs there for the Chennai Super Kings going forward with their death bowling, but also their bowling attack, that the bowlers are getting the job done. So overall, it was a very good win for the Chennai Super Kings. Great to see them playing so well after what we saw last year. This year is a totally different Chennai Super Kings side. So great signs for them in terms of batting and bowling going forward into their next match. But hopefully for them, this continues for the rest of the IPL season. Let's have a look at both teams' potential 11s heading into their next match. We'll start with the Kolkata Knight Riders. Their next match is against the Rajasthan Royals. I think they will make a couple of changes to their team, the Kolkata Knight Riders. Shubman Gill's been struggling of late, so I think Tom Seifert may come in for him, just to change something up in the batting. Obviously, give Gill a rest to reset mentally and physically. Give Seifert a go, see what he can do at the top of the order. He's opened the batting for New Zealand in T20 cricket. Let him open for the Knight Riders, see what he can do. I think Sunil Narine to come out and Shakib Al Hasan to come in to strengthen the batting. I think that will be the other change. Narine out, Shakib Al Hasan to come in to strengthen the batting. They need to do something, the Kolkata Knight Riders. They need to make some changes, get the team back on track. So the potential 11 could be Rana, Seifert, Tripathi, Morgan, Al Hasan, Kartik, Russell, Cummins, Nagarkoti, Chakravarti, and Krishna. Let's have a look at the Chennai Super Kings potential 11 for their next match against the Royal Challengers Bangalore. I don't think they'll make any changes, the Chennai Super Kings, for their next match. The side is playing well. As they say in cricket, don't change a winning team. So their potential 11 could be Gaikwad, du Plessis, Ali, Raina, Raidu, Jadeja, Dhoni, Curran, Thakur, Chahar, and Nengidi. What can we expect from both teams heading into their next match? Well, the Kolkata Knight Riders, their next game is against the Rajasthan Royals on Saturday at Mumbai. For the Kolkata Knight Riders, it's about trying to learn from this game against the Chennai Super Kings and look to get better and improve for their next match against the Rajasthan Royals. Even though they lost this game, but they nearly got close to winning this game. So that belief will motivate them to do well in their next match. But they need to keep bouncing back and show that fight and character. If they do that and improve their batting and bowling, they may see some wins come their way. The Chennai Super Kings, their next game is against the Royal Challengers Bangalore on Sunday at Mumbai. They sit on top of the IPL points table. Who would have thought that after last year's IPL for the Chennai Super Kings? For the Super Kings, they can't get complacent. As we know, things can change quickly in the IPL. They need to stay in the present moment and not think too far ahead. Overall, what a game of T20 cricket. The IPL continues to deliver some classic games. Great win by the Chennai Super Kings. Agony for the Kolkata Knight Riders. So close, but couldn't get the job done. We saw an unbelievable batting in this match. Over 422 runs scored in total. Hope we see more exciting games to come in this IPL season. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast. And like and share our Facebook page. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.